creek because it's pretty easy going.
What is that?
The scariest encounters don't always start with screams. Sometimes they begin with an empty trail, a quiet campsite, or a road that looks completely normal. But in these stories, something always feels off, a stranger hiding one hand behind his back, heavy footsteps circling a tent in the dark, and abandoned places that still feel occupied. So when the wilderness starts pushing back, how do you know when it's time to leave? On July 28, 2019, a YouTuber known as Lil Goofy and his friend headed out along a hiking trail in a remote outdoor location. Lil Goofy runs a channel centered on outdoor adventures, hiking, exploring, and recording unusual moments in isolated places. The day began like any normal trip. It did not remain that way. The trail they picked was one Lil Goofy had been on before. He knew the place well enough to feel safe there.
I really like this trail because up there's like a bunch of caves, bro. It's like a bunch of cool places.
How much longer do we got?
Probably another 30 minutes.
Alright, so.
I know we're almost there. Already getting sundown, but look at those views.
And the way you make it sound, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I know it's a little far still, but if you want, we can rest a little bit right here. Yeah, like another 20-30 minutes. And we'll head up in a bit. Just catch our breath. Well, look, do you see that?
Don't know about it, I guess.
I know, I usually...
The area was quiet and mostly empty, which was part of what made it appealing. They were walking toward several caves farther up the trail, a spot that still required roughly 30 more minutes of hiking from the place where they stopped to rest. They paused to regain their breath. Everything around them felt calm. Nothing about that moment suggested anything was wrong.
Waving, weird, I guess. Hi. Where has hands behind his back? Is that a knife, bro?
Dude,
Just get out of here, man. Let's just go. What the hell, bro? Is this really happening, bro? Which way do we go? Let's go. Bro, where's your phone at? Where's your phone? Why don't we just call the police? I left one in the car too. Bro, what the heck? Is he following us though? Yo, he's right there, bro. I said we go. What the heck, man? I don't know what's going on, but there's like some crazy guy up here. And there's literally nobody around us. Let's go hide right here. Just go duck here. He might know the trail more than we do. So we're just gonna have to hide for now. Let's go. Bro, what's going on?
Then they noticed him. A man showed up on the trail ahead. He was by himself. Lil Goofy explained that during all his earlier trips to this trail, he had never seen another person there. The man being there was already strange, but the way he stood made it feel threatening. The man kept one hand tucked behind his back. He said nothing. He did not move straight toward them. Instead, he lifted his other hand and slowly waved at them. They did not return the wave. They ran. The reaction was instant.
20 minutes. Let's go. Oh my god, guys. Oh my god. Let's go. Let's go. Bro, what's going on?
Both left the trail and pushed into the tall grass beside it. They crouched low and stayed motionless, watching from cover as the man passed by. He was moving quickly, not walking, but running, going down the same trail they had just used. They remained hidden and waited. Once it seemed safe, they came out and continued until they reached their car. Neither had brought a phone onto the trail. There was no way to call for help while it happened. They escaped without being followed any farther and without physical contact. Most hikers on remote trails do not hide their hands or run after strangers who have just fled from them. Something about this man's behavior did not match any normal explanation. What do you think he was really doing out there? On September 1st, 2024, A YouTuber known as Bear went out alone for an overnight camping trip deep in the Appalachian Mountains. His channel centers on urban exploration, outdoor adventures, and disturbing encounters in isolated places. The valley he selected that night was surrounded by cliffs and a dry creek bed, a location already linked to strange activity. He had no idea what the next several hours would bring. Bear prepared his camp alone. The spot was remote. No one else was nearby. He settled down for the night expecting the normal sounds of the woods. It began quietly. Sounds came from the tree line, the sort that could easily be dismissed as wildlife. He noticed them, but remained calm. He had camped alone before. He understood how forests sounded at night. But the noises continued. Branches cracked in the distance, then closer. Leaves shifted in ways that did not match the wind. Shadows moved at the edge of his sight.
Man, there's just a lot of noises out here. Could be a lot of wildlife. As long as that big thing don't show up, man, that was freaking... And it would... You gotta see the video. It sort of has me paranoid now. I just heard another noise over there. I hope you guys are hearing this. I keep wanting to lay down, but I'm hearing so much crap. Alright, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay down and pray to Jesus. Yeah. So I got my prayers in. I have my protection right here. I also got my handy dandy buck knife. I love this thing. Razor sharp. This might be one of the craziest campouts I've done. There's stuff moving all around me. And I'm in like this plastic bag where I can't see nothing.
He stayed inside his shelter, listening, unable to see beyond the tent walls. The feeling that something was close did not leave. It intensified. He tried to sleep. The sounds would not allow it. They kept coming from different sides, never stopping, never moving away. He held his knife and remained awake. Then the noises shifted.
That's ridiculous. What is that? I don't know if you guys can hear that, but now there's something bigger moving. Oh man. I'm getting a cramp in my shoulder. I hope you guys heard that. It's still moving over there. It's a little ways off, but it's still pretty close too. Man. After freaking last night, man. That rack was a little loud. Safety. Okay. It's ready. My heart is freaking pounding out my chest right now. Was that a growl? Sound like... Tree shaking. I don't have my boots on. I can still hear it. It's moving stuff around. These freaking mountains are crazy. Hello? I don't know if I should have done that. If it's a person, they gotta see the tent. I don't hear it anymore. Oh my goodness. Let me flip this camera around. Can you see anything? Dang it. I know you guys say to do this. This feels so stupid though, like sticking my head out of a tent right now. Did something just fall right there? Hear that? I gotta get my boots on. Man, that's so loud. Let's do it. Band-aid, like a band-aid. Crap, my light. Crap, what happened to the light? What happened? I can't see nothing. I can't see nothing, man. I'm outside the tent and I can't see nothing. What is going on? Why won't this light up anything? Oh my goodness, God, this freaking light is about dead. I can't see nothing. Hello? It was right over here. I just heard something move over there. That's where the sound came. Why can't I see nothing? Hold on.
Heavy thuds struck the ground just outside the tent. Whatever was outside was big. The movement felt deliberate. His flashlight started dying, reducing his visibility to almost nothing. He was in near complete darkness with something moving right outside. He looked out. He saw nothing, only dark forms and tree outlines. The sounds continued, weight pressing into the ground branches, breaking something slowly moving around the edge of his camp. He stayed still and listened. There was nothing else he could do. Eventually the noises disappeared, but the feeling that something had been there watching, circling, waiting remained even after everything went quiet. Bear survived the night, but the experience stayed with him. Whatever was outside seemed aware of him. What do you think was moving around his tent that night? On February 12, 2024, Rob Parsons, creator of the YouTube channel Rob Parsons, filmed a solo gold prospecting trip along Tasmania's remote west coast. His channel centers on gold-searching bushcraft and outdoor survival. In this episode, Rob works a quiet creek where gold appears plentiful, while traces of earlier miners remain scattered tools left in a place once valuable enough to draw people back.
Good morning. I slept in again. 8:45. Oh, day's getting away from me. I'm gonna rush brekkie and get straight down there and start working. So I got my shovel, pan, classifier. I left the pickaxe, sluice box and yabby pump. Got gloves, my mask, torch, batteries and snuffer without the gold in it. Off to work we go. Feel a bit light not carrying the pickaxe. Feel like something's wrong. Anyway, pretty sure I've got everything. Got a new way to get down to the creek now, and it avoids a massive log jam, which is just in there. There's actually quite a good little track that runs through here all the way to where after that log jam is. And it's only coincidental it's not because the old timers had it here. That stuff only fell down probably a year ago. It's all very fresh. Oh, no way. Shovel. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's crazy. The old timers shovel. That's mad. What the hell? Can't believe I just saw that. I just saw the face of it. Oh, there's heaps of stuff here. That's a fry pan. See that? Oh, gotta be so careful with it. Look at that. I've never actually properly explored that much inland. Like I've only really been along the creek because it's pretty easy going. But that's something I definitely need to do, is get in these hills a bit more. This place has got a lot of secrets.
Rob starts the day at his forest camp, outlining his plan to check untouched cracks along the creek. After gathering tools, he takes a different route down to the water, avoiding fallen timber blocking the older path. On the way, he finds a rusty shovel and an old frying pan buried in the ground. Rob believes they belong to miners who worked this creek more than a century ago, likely keeping the spot secret because of how rich it was. The tools are still there, but the people who use them are long gone.
Alright, so here we are. Now the trick to running a sluice, so I'm told, is finding the right amount of flow and depth of water to run through it. Because you need the river to do the work for you, but you can't have too much flow running through it, otherwise you'll lose all of the material, including the gold. But you can't have too little either, otherwise none of the material works. Now, the rule of thumb is, I think, when you've got the right amount, you get like a little V in the top plate. So I'll have a bit of a play here and see if I can get that happening. See, that there's not looking too bad. It's pretty flat. It's got a nice, you can see the water running over the riffles there. There's some nice clay-like material mixed in with the hard packed rocks. See if we can get some of that out. Get out what we can with the hands first. We're just going to feed the concentrates into the sluice box, and we'll do this about maybe 10 pans full, and then we'll check what we've caught in the sluice. Just take a spoonful and feed it in. I haven't quite got enough flow, so I'm going to have to help some of it over the lip. There's a nice visible piece of gold right there, so that's a very good start. If we can see gold, it means there might be more gold in here. I'm going to take this riffle plate off and we'll see what we caught in the mat. And we're going to gently shake off any material that's caught itself in the mat. You always want to make sure that your footprint of the mat is over the pan, because if you've got any gold, you don't want it falling outside of the pan. So I heard anyway. It's pretty good. Let's see what we got. So any gold we've got from the sluice mat will be sitting in the front part of this pan, and we'll just wash away all the light material to begin. Already got some heavies appearing, which is a great sign. There's what I'm looking at, some nice chunks coming through already. I guess that's the problem when you're working with these heavy sands and ironstone, is the gold isn't that much different to them in weight. So you got to be careful. So this here is 4 pans. That was about half hour sluicing. Oh! I lost a bit. Alright, that's enough of that. Not bad. Some good chunks in there. She's all chunky stuff. Nice.
Once in the creek, Rob places a sluice box in an area with steady water flow. He describes how natural current separates heavy material, allowing gold to drop and settle. After running several buckets of gravel, small pickers start showing in the black sand. As he keeps working, the gold becomes more solid and chunky, proving this section of creek still contains real value. Even with those rewards, the creek shows no sign of active mining.
I've just been working my way up towards this waterfall. Quite heavy the flow, but managed to find a few bits of gold, and I've just come across a nice little sun-baking nugget. That's it right there. And if it wasn't so hard trying to film one-handed whilst trying to pry it out of its resting place with a face full of waterfall, you'd have a much better view of me dislodging it. Nice little ship. Nice little egg. Little speckled egg. Might be a gram there, I reckon. This spot began to show plenty more sunbakers. Quite evident that the exposed surface of the bedrock was a thoroughfare for what we call a pay streak, a line that defines the path that gold travels in a stream. The small cracks in the bedrock provide the perfect place for the gold to get trapped as it travels over. Crazy, I've moved up like another foot. wasn't 3, it was only 2. I don't know what that other thing was, a yellow rock. Looked like gold, alright. After working the rapid, I continued collecting the odd piece here and there, not knowing that I was about to find one of the best crevices I've ever found. For whatever reason, this crevice had been completely overlooked. The overhanging fold above it provided the perfect dropout zone for gold to fall into. That's everything from today.
Rob next moves to sniping below a small waterfall, clearing crevices by hand beneath flowing water. He finds exposed gold resting on bedrock, then later discovers a narrow crack hidden under jagged stone that others seem to have missed. This crevice produces some of the strangest and densest gold pieces from the trip.
Let's kick things off with day 1's hole. First up, we've got this beautiful chunk, 6-7. The Golden Tooth, 0.42. A nice chunky picker, 0.43. Still nothing to sneeze at 0.43. The Golden Rabbit, 0.32. And day 1's total, 12.69 grams. Next up, we've got day 2. And day 2's total, 10.41 grams, which means the 2 days combined, 23.13 grams.
Back at camp, Rob weighs the total take from 2 days, revealing more than 23 grams of gold, roughly matching the video's title. He sits by the fire, pleased with the outcome. Many viewers admired the creek's beauty and Rob's skill, but others noticed something unsettling: valuable, ground-abandoned tools, and no sign of recent claims. In places like this, gold alone does not explain why people stop returning. If this creek once held enough gold to support a living, what made those earlier miners abandon their tools, and why has no one come back to finish what they began? Meet Brockus, the creator of the YouTube channel that uses his own name. Together with his friends, Carlos, Manny, Jonathan, and Eduardo, he explores places often described as haunted, trying to find the truth behind disturbing local legends. One night, their investigation brought them to a spot called Haunted Hills in Albuquerque, a place with a dark reputation connected to stories of a hermit who allegedly pulled women up the hill to their deaths. Carlos, who knew the area, said it was also associated with witchcraft, strange rituals, and shadowy figures seen moving through the brush.
In this video, we're going to be exploring mystery of the haunted hill here in Albuquerque. One of the reasons why this place is haunted is because a long time ago, there was this guy that killed women. This guy used to drag him up the hill and kill this innocent woman.
When I first started looking into it, it was basically about the main story is about this guy. He basically was like a hermit, from what I heard, and that he would like kidnap like mostly women. He would lure women up like this cave up here in the mountain, and he would fucking, I don't know if he like sexually abused them or anything like that, but he would kill them. Well, I've experienced like just seeing him or hearing him like walking, dragging bodies, stuff like that. You can be on the trail because this is a big trail. Like in the daylight, it looks completely different, but you can hear things behind you shuffling. So like up in these hills, they talk about those waters. You know what I mean? Being present, you got to be careful. There's a lot of witchcraft done up here, a lot of rituals. There's a lot of stuff. We were sitting right here, bro. And fucking, I kid you not, bro, we saw something shuffling through this, right through here, bro. See where that trash can is? Yeah. It went right behind that fucking bush right there next to the cactus, dude.
To start their investigation, the group began a spirit box session, speaking into the dark in hopes of reaching whatever remained there.
If there's any spirits here with us, can you connect with us? Can you make any certain sound? The spirit box, you can connect. Is there anyone with us right now? What's your name? L? C?
The device gave broken responses and names, including Gerald Ivy and Christina, before the session became more sinister when a cold, clear voice gave a direct threat, saying it would make them suffer. Disturbed, the group felt the negative energy was too strong. A shut off the device and continued climbing the dark trail.
I'll make you suffer.
You're not allowed to do that. You're allowed to stay. You're not allowed to follow us home. You're allowed to stay here at this place.
Said we come with respect. We're not trying to cause any trouble or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why, because there's a lot of going on right now. Like, them are playing around over there. We're not really being serious about it. Christina, you still here with us? Oh, let's try somewhere else, I guess. Thank you, Christina.
All right, thank you. Goodbye.
All right, guys. So I'm going to start recording. We already got a little bit of some activity going on. We got a name of Gerald, and a woman's name, Ivy and Christina. Remember those names? Heather.
As they moved deeper into the hills, the tension increased. A foul, sharp odor they described as human filled the air, and they repeatedly heard footsteps following close behind. Their fear grew when a rock was suddenly thrown from the darkness, landing dangerously close and proving they were not alone.
Do you guys smell that? Yeah. Like piss? It's not animal piss though.
It's fucking
Human piss.
The brightest one I have is the one that fucking Brian's using right now. What the fuck was that? Was that you?
No.
That was you, bro.
No.
Don't fuck with me, guys. Was that you or not? Tell me, dude. That's great.
Nah, someone threw a rock.
Oh, fuck you guys.
Hold on, I keep like hearing footsteps.
Near the top, one of them noticed something disturbing against the skyline. At first, it seemed like an oddly shaped tree, but as they aimed the camera, the figure started moving.
What is it?
What the freak is that? Yeah. Oh, nah, bro. That thing's like looking at us, bro.
What is it? It's a tree, bro.
Nah, bro.
He slaps the... I don't see nothing. It's because don't look at it directly, bro. Look kind of up and you can't see it. I'm trying. Very top, like someone's standing right there, waiting for us. It's a tree, bro.
Something just right there, dude. Something just fucking. Oh, nah, bro. Nah, bro. No. That thing's moving, bro.
It swayed in an unnatural way, then suddenly shifted to the right as a loud noise came from its direction. Realizing it was not a tree or any animal they recognized, and believing something waited for them near the summit, the group ended the investigation and hurried back down the hill.
Bro, it actually just fucking moved to the right.
What the fuck? Oh, did you hear that? Dude, something just fucking moved right there, dude. Oh, yeah, dude.
All right, we're in the safe zone. We don't see it no more, bro, because... All right, give me a sec. I'm kind of upset. We didn't get to go up, but the thing that we saw was not really human being. It was not an animal. I think it was something like witchcraft shit. I think it was some witchcraft.
Although they made it out of Haunted Hills safely, the sight of the moving figure stayed with them. What they witnessed that night remains uncertain. Was it a spirit tied to the hill's violent past, something connected to ritual activity, or a presence no one could explain? They left with more questions than answers, but one thing was clear: their encounter at Haunted Hills would not be forgotten by them anytime soon. On July 14, 2025, a lone explorer from Mountain West Productions traced a strange formation seen on Google Earth to a remote mountainside. The channel covers forgotten sites across the American West. With only his dog Greta beside him, curiosity turned into unease.
So, we're at our mark. I'd say this is very likely to be black bear scat. I mean, feel the hair in it? It's pretty thick and knotty. I believe that's what this is. Yeah, definitely black bear scat. We found another really good bone pile. There's actually a claw fragment right in that. You can see that's a claw. The map's taken me northwest, and above this boulder batholith is the disturbed earth and strange structure. I think we got to break through these boulders, hit that ridge, follow the ridge. That should help us a bit on our elevation gain as far as how much elevation gain per foot, per mile. I'm really interested to see who was up here and what sort of stuff's going on up on this ridge line. You leading the way, Greta?
Early in the hike, warning signs appeared. Fresh animal tracks and scattered remains suggested the area was active. The silence felt heavy, as though something nearby was watching instead of hiding.
I smelled... See, I'm downwind. Wind's blowing me that way. And I had a change in smell, like something's dead. I wouldn't be surprised if there's... What is that? See that tree up there? There's a animal carcass somewhere around here. So I noticed it. And it takes a lot for that piney sagebrush smell to get covered up. This looks almost like an old trail. Tell you what, looks like lightning struck this. It really does. This used to be a big tree. How gnarly all this brush looks. But you can see, lightning struck this dead down the center. Because it's burnt from the inside.
The trail led farther in. A faint odor hung in the air, hard to ignore. Burned and damaged trees stood nearby, leaving the landscape marked by signs of past destruction. This did not feel like somewhere to stay, but the discoveries kept coming.
See the different mineral bands in there? Right where they cut it too. It's all iron oxide. So we're getting close to whatever the heck's hiding up here. Oh yeah, plain as day. Look at this. These are old nails. This is very old. Peanuts. Look at this. This was a real deal mine up here. Dextron transmission fluid. So this isn't our Google Earth find. I checked Onyx and we're still a few hundred feet away. Look at these nails. They're huge. Wow, it's crazy looking. Yeah, look at this. Right into the rock. Would you say that is a claim marker? Because they core bored that. See how it's a perfect circle? That looks like it's about, oh, I don't know, probably from the 70s. This is the quartz they were after. You see how there's a little oxidization or that rust patina in this? And the little rosy colors?
Old metal debris and mining markers surfaced from the ground. These were not random scraps. Someone had worked here deliberately long enough to leave permanent traces behind. Then something unexpected came into view.
What is that? It's like an old cabin. This was a mine. This was like a mountain man's mine. There's stuff all over. Someone was definitely living up here. Look how many different mattresses there are. That's wild. There was some sort of electricity up here. This is really cool though. This is fabric. There's cloth on this table. I wonder if there's anything in this cabinet. It's an actual mirror here. Nothing. See this? There was a jar. But look at the beds. There were at least 3 guys here. See that? See, more quartz. They're mining gold up here. So they drove in here some way, but I lost the trail. I couldn't find a road to get to this. That looks like it's a wagon seat. And you can tell this actually is probably way older, because that's a tiny bed frame. Very tiny. This might be 1920s, 30s. There's a gutter.
Hidden between massive boulders was an old cabin. Inside were signs of repeated use, not just one visit. The space felt frozen in time, as if people had left without intending to. The most dangerous section was ahead.
So look at this. This was the hut. And there's a mine back in here. It's a tunnel under the freaking boulders. What do you smell? Oh, there's a deer leg in here. Something lives in this one. We're not gonna get in a fight with that. Whatever's bringing deer in here. It's almost all burnt. Smoky quartz. See that? It's black quartz. That is cool. The whole side of this is. They must have been pulling gold out of this. Old metal. Three. Not seeing any cool things. Oh, look at this. So they broke this rock. 4. Oh yeah, there's a labyrinth. That's crazy. Yeah, we'll mark this because I don't know where this is or how to get out. I know this is my tunnel, and I'm not getting lost in a mine. Get out of here.
A mine entrance opened under unstable rock. Inside were signs of recent animal activity and narrow passages leading underground. Greta stopped and refused to go farther. Sensing the danger, the explorer turned around and left the site. The size and condition suggest long-term use, not a forgotten or accidental place. If this place was truly abandoned, why did it still feel occupied? On December 19, 2025, a high-gear ride took shape in the mountains of Italy. The channel follows real off-road trips, raw, unscripted, and often unpredictable. What started as a smooth climb full of speed and confidence gradually tightened into quieter routes where people, history, and boundaries began changing the ride in unexpected ways.
Okay, it is clean something.
What the?
You're moving a whole way.
Wild blood going. Oh. Yes, oh my god.
To. Ajde, zdaj gasa, gre.
Slowly.
Yeah, man. So we were somewhere there now. Yeah, before I mean. And now we came all the way through the valley and up that hill.
So beautiful. Yes, I can see the seaside. I don't know if you can see it. Yep. Oh my gosh.
Ride begins with movement and momentum. Engines pull strongly as the riders climb, raising their front wheels and taking the slope with ease. The road feels open, almost welcoming, while the focus stays on balance control and the simple excitement of moving forward. But higher ground brings more than better views.
Hallo! Wrong way! Wrong way! Ooh, quite a me. The tunnel. Let's take a look of the tunnel.
Shame out.
So, here was crazy war for the territory. People were so smart, they were killing each other for some person kill, you know.
In the hills, man.
A lot of innocent soldiers, man. A lot of innocent soldiers been killing each other here for some president motherfucking politics, man. Still, they do kill each other, man. Buy a dirt bike and live your life, man. Yeah.
Farther up, the group slows near old military tunnels cut into the mountainside. The setting feels heavier here. The riders recognize the history attached to the land, and the pace naturally lowers, almost as if the mountain itself demands greater awareness. Soon after, the trail leads somewhere more personal.
To skladný pánky, to skladva vsak enga, po enga, mislim. Holy shit! Oh, cesta,
They put this seat so you don't hurt yourself.
Yes, they prepared this for us. Čas greva. Jaz sem v zelo nelagodnem položaju.
Oh.
Akle, Vikar. Midva greva klele gor. A ja, bradi gledal? A ja, ne. Sem mislil.
Ne, tle so rekli, da se vozijo.
Po potkah.
Ne vem, če je tu potka.
To so take skale, da bolj nas uničujejo, kot mi njih.
A ja?
Ja.
Aha. To je privat zemljišče.
Aha.
A ne?
Možno. Slovensko privat.
Činsko.
A tako. Lep dan.
Yeah.
Near a small residential area, a local woman walks over and speaks with the group. Her tone stays controlled, but her displeasure is obvious. She explains that the path crosses private property. The riders listen, exchange a few calm words, and decide to turn around.
Ah, no!
The ride continues somewhere else, more technical, more difficult, ending not with speed, but with effort and quiet understanding. Nothing escalated, but the moment quietly showed exactly where freedom meets responsibility. When adventure reaches lived-in land, should momentum give way to the unseen lines drawn there? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story. Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.